November 2025 Visa Bulletin, Major Predictions and Movement Trends. Understanding the Visa Bulletin. Every month, the U.S. Department of State publishes the Visa Bulletin, a chart that determines when green card applicants can move forward with their cases. It divides all applicants into family-based and employment-based categories, each with specific numerical limits set by U.S. law. Because annual visa numbers are capped, demand constantly exceeds supply, especially from high-volume countries like India, China, Mexico, and the Philippines. That's why we see enormous backlogs that take years, sometimes decades, to clear. When your priority date becomes current, you can finally take the next step. If you are in the United States, that means filing your adjustment of status. If you're abroad, it means moving forward with consular processing. The Visa Bulletin is not just a bureaucratic update, it's the heartbeat of the immigration system, the timeline that determines when families reunite and careers advance. Each line in the chart represents real lives, real patients, and real dreams waiting to unfold. Family-based green card categories, November expectations. Immediate relatives. Immediate relatives of U.S. citizens, including spouses, parents, and unmarried children under 21, always remain current in the Visa Bulletin. That means they are not subject to waiting lines and can file their green card applications immediately. This classification continues to move smoothly because it is not bound by the same quota restrictions as other categories. For everyone else, however, the wait continues and patience remains essential. F1, unmarried adult children of U.S. citizens. The F1 category typically advances very slowly, usually by just a few weeks per month. Over the past several bulletins, the Department of State has been cautious in moving this line forward. That slow pace is likely to continue through November 2025. Applicants from Mexico and the Philippines will remain among the most affected, given the massive backlogs that have built up over decades. While small progress is expected, perhaps just a few weeks, significant jumps are highly unlikely this month. The trend remains steady but slow. F2A and F2B, families of permanent residents. The F2A category, which includes spouses and unmarried minor children of green card holders, generally performs better than other family classes. In November 2025, modest advancement is expected, particularly for regions with moderate demand and consistent filing rates. However, the F2B category, which covers unmarried adult children of permanent residents, continues to move sluggishly. For India, Mexico, and the Philippines, only marginal improvement is likely. The wait times in this group still stretch across several years, even with incremental movement. F3, married children of U.S. citizens. The F3 category remains one of the most congested family-based pathways. Applicants in this group often wait 10 to 12 years or longer before their priority date becomes current. For November 2025, only a few weeks of advancement are expected. The Philippines and Mexico dominate this backlog because of consistently high petition volumes. The Department of State is proceeding carefully to avoid overwhelming the visa allocation limits set by law. F4, siblings of U.S. citizens. The F4 category, which includes brothers and sisters of U.S. citizens, faces extreme waiting times, often exceeding 15 years. Unfortunately, there's little sign of meaningful progress here either. November 2025 will likely bring only small, incremental movement, primarily for India, China, the Philippines, and Mexico. This category remains one of the slowest moving segments in the entire Visa Bulletin, reflecting how stretched family immigration has become. Employment-based categories, November forecast. EB1, priority workers. The EB1 category covers individuals with extraordinary abilities, outstanding professors and researchers, and multinational executives or managers. For most countries, EB1 is expected to remain current in November 2025, a positive sign for high-skilled applicants. However, India and China continue to experience pressure due to high demand and limited visa numbers. While small forward movement is possible, the pace will remain measured. Even so, EB1 continues to be one of the fastest routes for qualified professionals compared to other employment-based categories. EB2, advanced degree professionals. The EB2 category includes professionals with advanced degrees or exceptional abilities. Throughout 2025, EB2 has shown mixed trends, forward movement for most countries but very slow progress for India and China. For November, minimal advancement is anticipated for those two countries, likely just a few weeks. The Department of State remains cautious, managing annual visa allocations closely to prevent future retrogression. For all other countries, steady forward progress should continue, keeping EB2 one of the most reliable paths for global applicants outside the major backlog zones. EB3, skilled workers and professionals. The EB3 category remains the most unpredictable of all employment-based classifications. Some months bring forward jumps, others cause unexpected retrogression to balance visa usage. This volatility happens when overall green card issuance begins to near annual limits. For India, China, and the Philippines, the backlog remains severe and prolonged. For other countries, moderate advancement should continue into November, assuming demand remains stable. Applicants should not expect large leaps, but slow and steady progress seems likely as 2025 draws to a close. EB4, special immigrants. The EB4 category includes religious workers, certain government employees, and other special immigrant classifications. It generally remains stable, with only limited backlogs appearing periodically. For November 2025, no significant change is expected. Steady processing and continued stability are the most likely outcomes for this group. EB5, investor green cards. The EB5 program allows foreign investors to obtain permanent residency through investment in job-creating projects within the U.S. economy. After the reforms introduced under the new EB5 Reform and Integrity Act, processing has become more transparent and predictable. However, demand from China and India remains extremely high. That means cutoff dates for those countries are expected to advance slowly but consistently through November. No dramatic shifts are forecasted, but steady forward momentum continues to characterize EB5 this year. Key factors shaping November 2025 movement. Three central factors are driving what we'll see in the November 2025 bulletin. The first is increased processing capacity across both USCIS and the Department of State. Over the past year, both agencies have expanded staffing, improved coordination, and digitized case management systems. These efforts are gradually reducing the leftover backlogs from the pandemic years, helping stabilize visa allocation patterns. The second factor is a stable policy environment. No major immigration legislation or executive actions are expected before November, meaning the bulletin will continue following existing trends, predictable, steady, and without shocks. The third factor is country-specific demand. India, China, Mexico, and the Philippines dominate the queues across both family and employment categories. Their high application volumes slow global advancement but also keep movement consistent and measurable. What applicants should do now? If your priority date is approaching current, the best strategy is preparation. Gather every document, update your forms, and ensure all supporting evidence is complete before the next release. When your date finally becomes current, you'll need to act fast. Delays in submission could cause you to miss a narrow filing window, especially in categories that move by only weeks at a time. For applicants from India and China, even a small advancement can represent a real opening after years of stagnation. Use it wisely by being ready the moment your turn arrives. And remember, avoid anyone claiming to sell guaranteed predictions or inside visa updates. The only reliable sources are the U.S. Department of State and USCIS websites, which post official bulletins and verified data. Final thoughts. The November 2025 Visa Bulletin won't deliver massive leaps, but it will bring meaningful progress for certain groups. And in the complex world of U.S. immigration, even slow progress is progress worth celebrating. Each movement, whether 2 weeks or 2 months, represents thousands of lives inching closer to stability, opportunity, and family reunification. The momentum is real, and the system, though slow, is gradually catching up. If you found this update helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon for future updates. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video.